We're here with Preetha Appan, Senior Software Engineer and Technical Lead of the Recommendations Team at the illustrious Indeed. Thanks for coming to take some time out of your busy schedule to come see us.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Now, you've been with Indeed since 2007.
Yes.
That is back when Indeed was just a toddler.
Yep.
Right, on the internet. And then as of 2010, I understand Indeed has become one of the most highly trafficked job websites on the planet.
Yes.
Thanks to you.
Thanks to me and a hard work of a lot of other engineers at Indeed.
Okay.
And product managers and everybody else.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, and you were in attendance at Data Day 2015 and gave a presentation. You're scheduled to give a presentation at Data Day Seattle.
Yes.
Coming up July 23rd, 2016. That's great. What's going to be the topic of that talk?
Sure. The topic of my talk is building recommendations at scale. Mm-hmm. Really, it's a deep dive into the job recommendations engine at Indeed.
Okay.
The talk goes into really cool things like probabilistic data structures, and how they work, and simplifying the amount of work that we have to do to calculate people's recommendations on a large traffic site like Indeed, where we get millions of visitors, and each visitor clicking on potentially hundreds of jobs.
Yeah.
And really, it's also like an evolution of architecture talk. It talks about how you go from building a very simple MVP, getting it in front of your users, and then really iterating on it to the point where you're building a fully fleshed machine learning product that can drive business value for the company.
Nice. And this sounds like a talk that if you're into recommendations and that sort of arena, that you don't want to miss that talk, because this is obviously coming from someone who knows what she's doing and deals with more data than most people are going to have
really
to juggle. Yeah. So, and I know that you're an expert in machine learning, and that you enjoy teaching and mentoring. Mm-hmm. Both of those facts I got courtesy of your LinkedIn profile. Would you mind maybe, for those viewers without a degree in math or computer science, giving us an explanation of what machine learning is?
So to put it in a nutshell, machine learning is about teaching the computer to learn patterns in data and build models based on that. So something like a simple example would be if you asked a human to identify what a cat looks like, mm-hmm. compared to a dog, a toddler could do it, right? They know the basic features, mm-hmm. that go into a cat's skin looks a certain way, a cat's ears look a certain way, and so on, mm-hmm. and so forth. And a kid can look at it and immediately tell, yes, this is a cat and this is a dog. Mm-hmm. Imagine teaching a computer to do the same thing.
Right.
And that's what machine learning is.
Okay. So why is it so easy for a toddler to get it and my $1 million computer can't do it? What's the secret?
So the secret is that nobody has cracked how the brain's cells and neurons work exactly in mm-hmm. order for us to form that pattern in our head when mm-hmm. we make that distinction. And so computers have gotten really good at that particular problem, like the cat versus dog. And the way they do it is they give it millions of different images of cats versus dogs, mm-hmm. and in the background it sort of learns all the basic features that make up a cat versus making up a dog. Mm-hmm. And so they've actually gotten pretty successful at it now.
So it's looking at this four-legged creature, creating a mathematical model.
Exactly, yeah. Creating a mathematical model of all the underlying features or the hidden features that make up what differentiates a cat from a dog.
Yeah.
And in case of images, it could be things like how the fur looks like and the shape of the ears, the shape mm-hmm. of the eyes, things like that.
All right. Well, so machine learning is used to help job seekers find openings on Indeed?
Yes.
Okay.
In recommendations. So as far as the domain that I work in, you can think of it as taking advantage of all the traffic that Indeed gets. Mm-hmm. So sort of sharing the knowledge that comes from, let's say you go to Indeed and you click on 3 different jobs related to, I'm just going to make you a software engineer for now.
That's
okay.
Yes.
Right.
Okay,
so you
cool.
get to be a software engineer in my example.
Yeah.
So you go to Indeed and you clicked on 2 different software engineering positions, one at Cloudera and one at, say, Indeed. Mm-hmm. And then 2 minutes later later, I come to Indeed. I clicked on one of those. So I clicked on the software engineer position at Indeed, and then I clicked on something else that you didn't see. Our system detects that we're both very similar to each other because there's an amount of overlap in the jobs that you saw and I saw. So the next time you come to the site, it's going to show you jobs that I clicked on that you didn't see, and it's going to show me that Cloudera job that you clicked on, but I didn't happen to find it for whatever reason. And so imagine doing the same thing, but instead of 2 users, it's like millions of users and millions of jobs. So that's where the details are.
That's good. And it spreads it out, gives everyone an equal shot at And I'm looking forward to the day to where Indeed will also interview me or look over my credentials, interview me, and just give me the job, right? And we could just cut out the middleman. Maybe one day. I don't know.
Sure.
Okay, awesome. So what sort of things are of top importance for Indeed? Like when you're making recommendations, what do you keep in mind to always be striving for?
So our data has definitely shown us that freshness is very important in our domain. So there's not much point in recommending a job that's been posted more than 30 days ago because it's more likely that enough people have applied to it or it's already been filled. The company has kept the posting live for whatever reason, but your chances of getting a job keep getting lower and lower as the older the job gets. So we spend a lot of effort in terms of thinking about how to make our recommendations fresher. We want it so that like a job is discovered on the internet and we're able to recommend it to someone in 15 minutes. That's what we're aiming for.
I don't know why I left one of your competitors. There was another one I used to use a long time ago, and then I had stumbled across Indeed once, and then like I just never looked back. I can't put into words why that was, but it's true. I mean, you probably know what differentiates you from other monsters out there on the internet, but
so we spend a lot, and indeed if you walk into any typical meeting, like they're not necessarily comparing ourselves to competitors and being like, oh, so and so competitors built this feature, so we have to build the same thing. We really think about, okay, what do users want, what is our data telling us, and how do we make our product so compelling that people want to use it. And so staying focused that way, I think, really helps.
It does. It works. You guys aren't playing catch up. You're breaking barriers. You guys are making it happen. So I'm going to go back in time long ago. Back in 2005, you were a member of the technical staff at another legendary Austin company called Psycorp.
Oh, that was a long, long time ago.
It was long, ancient times. And you were using the Psych knowledge base.
Yes.
Was that your first experience with AI?
Pretty much, yeah. So that was the job that I got straight out of school, and it was that was very interesting. I learned a lot in that company. That was the first time I'd seen AI or machine learning, and they're more traditional AI, building a knowledge base. They're trying to build this big graph that connects people and things and products and places so that things can just make intelligent decisions. And it's very challenging and difficult, but it was also my first experience with any of that stuff.
What they're doing, and I mentioned this to another interviewee, I mean, it seems like just the most daunting task because it's so broad. It's
very broad, and it requires a lot of both automatic and manual kind of massaging of basically teaching computers concepts like a cat has 4 legs, a cat has 2 ears, and this is how something looks like, and that's just, you could spend a year just teaching it about one animal, but imagine doing that about all sorts of common sense concepts, like things that humans just get very easily, but you can't get out of you can't teach a computer that, and so you have to manually teach it each thing. So their approach is in that direction.
Well, that's great. Preetha, thanks so much for coming and spending some time to talk with us about all the wonderful things that you're doing. Indeed, obviously you guys are doing something right with all the traffic. And like I said, whenever I make a recommendation to someone, it's just, I don't even have to think about it. I just go see Indeed.
Go Indeed. Go Indeed if you're looking for jobs.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Thanks again for talking.
Thank you.
All right.